Gets it in and gets it down. Here come the Hounds trying to house this one, and they do.
I'm James English, and as usual, I'm joined with Chicago Hounds head coach Chris Latham. Brought to you by presenting sponsor, Life Cycle. Welcome to the Big Dog Podcast, official podcast of Chicago Hounds Rugby. I'm James English, and I'm joined as usual by my co-host and Chicago Hounds head coach Chris Latham.
Hey, mate.
Brought to you by presenting sponsor, Life Cycle. I'm also joined by Canadian international men's rugby captain Lucas Rumball and MLR general legend Charlie Abel.
Charlie's got a better resume.
No, your one's nice, but like captain, I just some random bloke.
Rather be a legend than a captain.
He just made that up. It's a lie.
Lads, we'll start on the. I'm not sure what mushrooms you've been taking, but we'll start on the Life Cycle mushrooms. Have you been taking any of the products?
Yeah, I took heaps of it.
Have you?
Yeah, too much.
Oh yeah,
Almost smoked.
I'm not sure if we should talk about it, but you took some and ended up having to go to get your heart checked, right?
I actually figured it out though. I had like a pinch in my shoulder,
Oh, it makes me feel a lot better.
and it yeah. So I don't think it was the mushroom. I had this pinch in my shoulder from my nerves, and it was like slowing this blood. Right. So when I saw Cooney, and he like opened up my shoulder, way better.
But weren't
That's
you
good.
suspended? How did you get a sore shoulder?
I don't know. I don't know.
I had a call from our head of medical who said, we might have a problem with your new sponsor. I said, what's that? Well, Charlie took some mushrooms and now he's got heart palpitations.
Yeah,
but
that's
good
sweet.
to hear that we're all
Life
good.
cycle, you're good to go.
Good,
Yeah.
nice.
Sweet. Good for the heart, you'd say
Good.
then.
Yeah.
Lucas, do you have a better story than that for us that we can actually use?
Probably not. I'm taking them, you know, it substitutes a coffee for me here and there. And if you know me, I like my coffee. So it's going well, keeping me alert, keeping me in it. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Off the coffee and onto the rugby, what everyone's tuned in for. Charlie, you've been through the, some real ups and downs in MLR.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk to us a little bit about it? Obviously, born in Australia,
Yeah.
played a bit of Super Rugby as well.
Yeah.
How did you end up in LA?
I ended up in LA because just the coach that went there, DC, he was someone I played for before. He went over there. He just hit me up, seeing if I was keen. I had little opportunities to stay in Oz, but to be fair, the adventure to go to LA and it's too good. So I decided this is it. I'm going to leave. And
From LA to Chicago.
yeah,
Not
haven't
by
looked
choice.
back. Yeah, but that's all right. It's ended up great. I love Chicago. It's cheeky fun. I would never thought I would have ended up here at all, but
How do you get with the weather though? Like, do you struggle with it or are you used to it?
no, I struggle. The winter is shit.
Yeah.
It's heinous. It's so windy.
Oh, that bad.
Yeah, he's from Canada. You don't know.
Over to a man who's from north of the wall,
Yeah.
Lucas. Your journey also interesting. Obviously, played in Toronto.
Yes.
Yeah.
3 seasons.
Unfortunately, Toronto, folded also. Different circumstances to LA. We'll make that very clear.
Yeah.
Less cheating, anyway. And
Just trying, we like to call it trying.
Yeah. Creative counting.
Creative
if you're not
trying.
cheating, you're not trying, right?
Yeah. Well,
And Lucas, you found yourself in Chicago as well.
Yeah.
How's that been for you?
it's been a surprising change. When the team folded with Toronto, I actually got engaged a day before. So the missus was thrilled as we were out to a little bit of a celebration dinner. I had to step out and take a call from Tim Matthews at the time. And then from there, it was just trying to figure out where I could land would be the best fit for me, rugby-wise and, club-wise.
You were Canadian captain, you were Toronto captain. You're obviously very invested in Canadian rugby at the time. To lose that pro team must have been tough.
Yeah, it's still probably a huge gap in Canadian rugby as a whole. Like, there's not that next step right now north of America. Like, you kind of go from either club to university, or there's not even provincial at the moment. And there's some teams like the Privateers here who I've bought season tickets to before and support, who are basically done by just local rugby guys who just want to see the game grow in their country, and they put their money where their mouth is and get these kind of semi-professional high performance things going. But there needs to be more in Canada again. it needs to happen quickly if we need to stay on par with the States.
And how's that affecting the national team?
I think if you want to get historical about it, I think Canada suffered from not going professional when the rest of the world did in 95. And it took a while to see the results of that. And as it became harder and harder and countries looked after their domestic kind of talent better than the international, we saw the decline. And it's been a drain, I would say, on that professional side of rugby in Canada.
Because I'm trying to do the math in my head, so don't be offended by this, but were you playing at the time that rugby went professional from amateur to professional Australia or not?
I got my first contract the year it went professional.
There we go.
96.
I was worried I was going to really upset you there.
No, 96 when it went professional in Australia.
Yeah.
I was one of those few that got one. Wasn't much.
And we talked about
all.
Australians. You played in the World Cup, right, Lucas? You played out in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
How was that experience for you?
It's the pinnacle for me. It's probably why I keep playing, to be honest. Once you get there, it's like, I'm sure Chris can talk about it as well. There's nothing like it.
Chris, your World Cup record's not bad.
Yeah, played in 3. Yeah, coached in 1 and played in 3, and it's just as magical going as a coach as it is as a player. And I was in the Japan one coaching Samara at the time. So
I was out in Japan for that. That was a pretty special tournament,
it was.
right? What
Unreal.
a great experience.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, it made me really fall in love with the country, to be honest. I loved it. I enjoyed there. I go back just for a vacation, to be honest. And when my career's kind of ended and my knees are hopefully still working, I'll
A few more years
ski.
yet, mate. Don't worry.
A
A few more years.
lot of life left in these bad boys.
Is there, bro?
Just keep taking the mushrooms. Keep out.
Half the time they face the wrong direction.
Are they like,
What do you mean?
oh, yuck. Look at those things.
We talked a lot in the podcast. We had Mac and Shorty on, and they talked a little bit about their experience in MLR. Obviously, Mac's been here since day one. You're an OG as well, Charlie. One of there's actually not that many lads left in the squad that have been here from day one. What's that journey from coming in, building a team from scratch to where we are now?
Like, I think year 1 was okay because we took a lot of things. There was obviously a lot of guys that were from the Austin team, from the LA team, so we kind of stole a lot of things that we were doing as a playing group there and tried to create our own here. I really kind of think this year is the year where we've figured it out as a playing group, like what kind of culture we want to have, what kind of way we want to be around having fun off field and then working like dogs on field. So I think it's been a good little journey of slowly building to be, the actual playing group that we want to be,
Lucas, I think the interesting thing for you is you probably didn't feature controversially as much as you probably should have last year, in my opinion. And yet this year you've come in, you're now team captain and probably been one of the MVPs up till now, even though we're only kind of 5 games in. What do you think the major differences for you have been from last year to this year?
Even last year, it was a good group of guys. I think it's just finding the right balance between a carrot and a stick kind of mentality. Do these guys need to be kicked up the ass? Do they need to be coddled, or do you need to let them go and do what they want to do? And I think we didn't find that balance right last year, probably till closer towards the end of the year. And when we really got dialed in, and then when guys are happier, kind of off the field, happier with their work environment, then the product starts to come out on the field. It's like any sort of job. If you have employees or laborers or whatever, and they're not happy or they're worried about other things constantly, they're not going to be able to focus on the task at hand. When you empower them to be able to do that, you get the best results out of them. And that's what high performance sport to me is.
Chris, you played with some of the greatest rugby players in history. What makes a good leader, and why did you look to Lucas this year?
Yeah, there's a lot of layers in a leader. And I said it before, one of the hardest things is it can be a lonely place. You've got to make decisions, and you're making the decision, especially as a captain, you're making the decision on the field for the entire group in a split second under a hell of a lot of pressure. So you've got to have that big shoulders mentality of, this is what it is, whether I'm right or wrong, I'm going to run with it and I'm going to be confident. And you've got to have a persona that shows that it's the right call, regardless of what the call is. And the leaders that I've seen and I've enjoyed being around, they've had a really good balance of being able to switch on when it's time to switch on. And it's the old white line fever. Once you cross the white line, you're on. And when you come off it, then you can you can relax a little bit.
Can you learn to be a good leader, or is it something that you just have in you?
I think it's something that's ever changing. I think the leader I was when I was younger is not the leader I am now. The leader I am now won't be the leader I am when I finish my career. I think you learn throughout your career what works, what doesn't work. I would say even this year, a big one for me is that positivity side of things. I'm probably a little bit more old school in terms of like just being hard on guys and basically just do your fucking job, and that's that. Whereas, you know, this year it's really shown to me that picking a guy up, being super positive, almost over top positive, it comes out on the weekend. So I think a good leader needs to be constantly adapting to A, what's working, what's not, and B, the environment that they're in.
What about as a coach, Chris?
I can tell you now, I'm not the person I was as a player, as I am now a coach, and I'm definitely not the coach that I was even last year or the year before, and definitely not 5 years ago. Like, you know, I was a coach that was still like I was as a player, very high demanding, very abrupt, would lose my shit at an instant if things didn't go right. And, you know, I would be very forceful in what I wanted and quickly, you know, needed to adapt to realize that, you know, I was being the coach that I didn't like as a player. And, you know, but I was like that as a player. So it's quite ironic. But now, yeah, totally different.
Charlie, you have aspirations of being a coach. You've been a great coach in our academy so far. And
Yep.
really taken some of those boys under your wing and been a real mentor.
Like I do the coaching now at the academy and stuff like that because I would like to try to be a coach later, but I don't want to finish playing and then try to jump into it and then, I'm actually shit at it. For me, I'm just trying to get better at how I can relate to the kids, how I can give them detail and information, and I will keep trying to adapt as a coach and as a leader in the team if I can do my roles. And heaps of the young boys that were in the academy are now in the team with us. So they ask me questions and things like that. So if any details, any information that I can get off and I can give to them, I feel like I'm going to give it.
Do you feel, though, as a coach, it's improved your game? Because now you've seen
100%.
the game from the other side?
Yeah, because I like to, like, I think of like footy different, think of training different, and also I think of, you know, probably a bit of the things I say, because obviously I'll talk shit and I'll say rogue things sometimes to the lads. And when I was academy coach, sometimes still I blew up at the lads because sometimes I felt like I've explained this drill 2-3 times.
Yeah.
And your lads just ain't getting it.
Yeah.
And if you ain't getting it, you either tell me that I haven't explained it right, or you tell me you just don't get it, bro. And we'll figure it out then. So I definitely think it's helped me as a player, like 100%, because maybe it's just because I have to think about footy more.
Yeah.
And I think of how other people want to play footy.
Yeah. No, I definitely wish I coached when I was playing.
Right.
Yeah.
From what I've learnt from coaching.
Charlie, you've become a bit of a legend in the documentary that went out recently. A bit of a fan favourite.
I thought the documentary guys did pretty good at just doing their own vibe, just sitting back filming. Because there's footage in the documentary that I didn't know that they filmed. But it's fine, sweet. But I think they did a real good job of being there, but not being in the way.
United States of Rugby, available on Roku.
Get on down, guys.
Some good stuff.
Do you want to see Charlie topless in a pair of Crocs mowing his lawn? Episode 5, is it, I think?
Yeah,
Iconic.
it is
It's
episode
iconic.
5. Crocs, if you see this, I need
It's been really popular. There's even talk about you, like, with OnlyFans in your Crocs and shorts, mowing a lawn and people signing up for it. No?
Yeah, we're not going to make any money off it, but we could definitely do
Hang
it.
on. Any sponsorships out there, come through C. Latham. we'll pass them on.
Yeah, look, we'll do a group deal.
You'd be surprised how many people love Crocs, man.
I love Crocs. They're cheeky, comfy. I wear them every day.
Pink Crocs as well, right?
Yeah, pink
Favorite
ones.
go-to.
I've got 2 pairs of pink ones.
Chicago Crocs.
Yeah, we should have Crocs if you're watching.
Or at least a gibbet, just a little hound on there.
We're going to finish off with some short questions just to get your feeling on the team so far. So, player to watch this year in the Hounds.
I think 2. You always got to watch Mason Flesh.
Took mine.
Sorry, boy. He's
That's all right.
a freak. And then Jackson, the young buck.
Some haircut, man.
Yeah,
He's as wide as he is tall.
yeah. But he's hell of an impact, that fella.
A guy with such like huge energy,
Yeah.
and to follow through like behind someone like Butcher, some man.
No, it's good. Butcher bullies him to be better, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Lucas,
old school, man.
players to watch this year for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna shamelessly plug a few Canadians. Matawaru in the pack. Look, he's a guy who hasn't got a lot of time with 15s, and him getting into that professional environment full time, he's picked it up quickly. I think he'll continue to pick it up quickly, and like he's a physical freak, like fast, strong, everything you want in a package. So once he fully grasps the game, watch out.
How old's Matt now? He's only like 21, 22.
Yeah,
He's young.
Yeah, he's very young.
He's a young rhino.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He's a
really is.
rhino, right? He's a big fella.
so exciting one. And then
He's big.
Mason's brother Noah Flesh as well. He's very much like Mason attitude wise. They're quite similar. He probably speaks a little bit more, which throws
still not
the
a lot,
boys
though.
off. Yeah, but it's not much.
Noah, impressive guy. I mean, I saw him play for Canada. Like he got his first cap at 21, played at 12 for Canada. Looked really comfortable at that level. Would have probably been a first draft pick if he was an American that year. But we were lucky enough to pick him up. Chris, any thoughts on someone for us to watch out for?
I've said it before, but obviously Noah Brown, but young kid, got everything, just needs that experience. But I think also Matty O, he really excites me. He's got a body shape that is just going to be so difficult to pull down when he understands where to run, how to run, which is exciting. And yeah, he's already been said as well.
How coachable are some of these lads?
Oh, extremely. And that's what I've loved. I've extremely loved how coachable they are, and it's testament to how coachable they are. The fact that he's someone like Matty O, who hasn't had much rugby, hasn't had any real rugby experience at all, but yet now is pushing a very top quality team or squad and has pushed himself onto the bench. They're just not in that environment that we've got at the moment with the squad and the quality of players that are getting left out. You've got to be doing something right, and he's done extremely well.
Well, there it is. You've heard it from the guys themselves. Tune into Fox Chicago 32 and ESPN to watch our games this year. Charlie, Lucas, Chris, as usual, massive thank you to you guys. This is the Big Dog Podcast, brought to you by Life Cycle. Guys, up the hounds. Best of luck for the rest of the year.
Up
The
there.
Hounds, thank you.
Thanks.